G'day, guys. This is Jay here, all the way from Australia. Kangaroos, koalas, Steve Irwin impersonations. We know how it all works. And I've got a great individual, great human, DD King. He's an author of Mindset Metamorphosis. I got that right to get the bubbles out of my mouth. It's early morning here, but it's an absolute pleasure to have you on, my friend. And I've read your story, and it's one of those ones where a lot of people could be feeling the same way or in the same situation that you were. And I mean, it's these stories that people need to hear, and how you got out and how you got to a point of your magnificent mindset and author. I'd say, from what I've read and what I've seen, a healer in a lot of ways, and just a magnificent individual and helping so many people. Welcome to a chat with JDK.
Hey, thank you for having me on your show. It's an honor.
Thank you so much. Let's talk about a little bit about it. I'm going to go straight out. The I'm going to just say, you said $60,000 in debt, and you
Yeah.
were and you just, I mean, what kind of mindset would you have been in? I mean, obviously maybe a family involved. I mean, a lot of people are just struggling these days with those kind of things, and you've come out and you can see what a wonderful life you've had. What really kicked you in that time? Might as well start there. You're looking at this 60,000 worth of debt, and what happened? What changed? What really kicked you into gear to get to exactly the great person that you are right now?
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm still dealing with $60,000 worth of debt. So kind of give you a backstory of why I'm in debt. Um, Little bit. My wife and I, we've dealt with infertility for about 10 years. My wife ended up having endometriosis and then a total hysterectomy. Long story short, I mean, we ended up not being able to have kids just because of all her health issues. Fast forward to 2024, my wife gets diagnosed with breast cancer. It's like January of 2024, and then she starts treatment in February of 2024. And then, so for me, it's February 1st, 2024. I'm reading this book called The Breast Cancer Husband because my wife was diagnosed with breast cancer. And so the book basically says you as a husband be there for your wife as she's going through cancer treatments, but also let your employer know that to have a flexible work schedule due to being at all her appointments. So I tell my employer that, hey, this is what's going on in my life. Can I have a flexible work schedule? They said that's fine. Then exactly a week after I disclosed that to them, they decided to lay me off. And so
Wow.
yeah, and they said, "Oh, budget cuts," or they, gave an excuse or whatever. But I'm like, I'm a liability. I get it that I won't be there all the time. And I said I'll work weekends to make up my time, whatever. But at the end of the day, they still let me go. And so we ended up not. So I lost my job, and then I didn't find a job until December of 2024. So we went like 9, 10 months without any income and we get a bill for one chemo treatment, and that was without any health insurance or anything like that, was $80,000. And
Wow.
so my wife had to do 12 rounds of chemo, plus target drugs, plus surgery, plus radiation, plus 2 years of surveillance. So she's still on surveillance, but my wife is cancer free as of February of 2025.
Great. Oh, it's great.
Yeah. But at the same time, we ended up getting some sort of medical insurance that kicked in. So we didn't have to pay that $80,000, that one $80,000 chemo treatment. Because if you add it all up, it would probably have been well over $1 million. Uh,
Wow.
but I mean, we got health insurance, but at the same time, with both of us not having any income, that led us to $60,000 worth of just regular medical bills, checkups, daily, living expenses. So yeah, I mean, we're still paying that off. But during that time, when I got laid off and, during my wife's cancer treatments, I had nothing but time. I'll take my wife to get chemo, and sometimes it'll take 3, 4, 5 hours at a time. And then it just got to the point where I'm like, yeah, I'm applying for jobs, but I'm like, well, I got nothing better to do. So I started journaling just kind of how I was feeling and just some of the
Wow.
thoughts going through. And the journaling kind of turned into a book because I was like, well, I feel stressed, I feel overwhelmed, and I feel stuck. Uh, but at the same time, I'm like, I'm sure there's other people out there that are feeling that way, whether, what kind of life situation they're going through. And so the book kind of, my journaling kind of turned into a book to kind of help other people. And it's funny, like when I got laid off, so faith is a big part of my wife and I's life. And
Yep.
so I came home that night when I got laid off. Um, we prayed, but we didn't ask the question, why is this happening to us? Why does my wife have cancer? Why do I lose my job? Instead of asking that, we asked why not us? And the next question after that was, well, who can we help down the line? And so those two kind of questions always kind of lingered in my head while I was journaling. So, the book kind of came about of like, yeah, I want to be able to help people that's going through life challenging situations and not know how to deal with it. And so it's a way to get unstuck. It's a way to deal with, life stresses. And, my book, I talk about reframing, and that's something I had to do with that. Things to de-stress is meditation, breath work, like box breathing, and just a lot of like mindfulness, like mindful eating. So many times we live in a culture where everything is so fast paced, and we're eating on the go, we're eating while checking emails and on social media. And I'm just like, just take a minute, take like 20 minutes and sit down and just focus on your meals. I talk about sleep, start winding down, to help with your stress. Shut down like all electronics because all the blue lights. And so, because these are practicals that help me during this really dark season of our lives. And so that's kind of how the book kind of came about.
Hey, it's an amazing story because it's very. I mean, we've got a lot of it. I can say a lot of similarities to when I wrote Journey of a Whitefeather. We're gonna have to do some. I'd like to do some trading. I'd like to get hold of your book and have a read of it if that's possible. We'll talk about where to find it and all those kind of things. It's the big thing that I got out of that. Just that little spiel there. DK is journaling. I'm a massive fan of journaling. I did a lot of journaling. That's how I started to write myself, my poetry, and we're writing Journey by Whitefeather. But
Mhm.
the other thing that was really big for me out of there was structure and focus and routine. Now, what was your looking at the mindset of that? Because you're right, because people are rushing and all those kind of things and stepping back. It's not hard to make the choice. Robin Hood effect. That's what I do. Um, to do that. What was your process? How long did it take you? And what were some of the things you did to get into that routine? You just basically go cold turkey and go, right, I'm doing this and that's it. Want to do a big shout out to our friends and supporters at Liberty Bullion. Sammy and the team are the best gold, silver, and platinum traders in Australia. Make good choices, give them a call. Back to the show.
Yeah, I mean, so for me, I've been a pretty disciplined person pretty much all my life. So going back, I started martial arts when I was about 5, and I still do it till this day. So that kind of it tied in a lot with my own life, with the discipline that goes with it. But for me, it was I have a morning routine that I do. I wake up, I drink my smoothie, but then for me, like I said, faith is a big part of my life. So
Yep.
first thing I do is I read the Bible, and I meditate on it, and then I add some movement into my life. For me, I do. I don't know if you're familiar with Spartan races.
Oh yeah, I've got a friend of mine who is over here. He's actually got some kidney disorder. His name's Arwen Nidia.
Yeah.
I interviewed him. You'll probably find it on my channel. Cheap plug, but he does. He's got what they call the Los Locos. I think they're called. They're a Spartan group, and
Okay.
he's goes for kidney treatment every so often, very regular, and he does Spartan. So I get it, mate. Yeah, yeah, it's a big thing. It's very disciplined.
Yeah, yeah. So with that, I mean, I've done 10 Spartan races. I've done a 50K ultra, and so there's a discipline that goes with it. And so, and I talk about in my book about like building habits. I also talk about in my book about having a fixed mindset versus a growth mindset. And
Yep.
so a fixed mindset is basically like, yeah, I know everything there is to know, and I don't really need to know anything. And then growth mindset is like continuing to learn, continuing to grow. And so for us, we could have easily had that fixed mindset of, okay, hey, the doctors, oncologists, the surgeons, whatever, you guys are your profession, you guys know what you're doing, and just kind of left it at that. But we took it upon ourselves to have that growth mindset where we dug deep into research in cancer, into people who's been there, who's done it. We read this book called Chris Beat Cancer. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, but Chris Work, the author, he had he had like abdominal pain when he was like 25, 26 years old. Went to the ER. Hospital says, "Oh, you have stage 3 colon cancer. You have about 6 months to live, and
Wow.
maybe 8 or 9 months if you do chemo, radiation, the whole Western medicine." And he ended up just getting the surgery, removing the tumor, and then he changed his diet completely from whatever he was doing to a completely whole food, plant-based diet. And he actually reversed and healed his cancer. And so that's why, for us, we ask the question, who, not how. Who's done this? Who's been through cancer? Who's beat it? And what did they do? And so we read his book, and so we went on a whole food plant-based diet to counteract the cancer. And so, but that part is also part of the discipline. We saw someone do it and their story, and we're like, okay, let's do it. And then, just about 2 weeks ago, my wife is seeing her doctor, her oncologist doctor, or actually her surgeon, and she walks in the room and she's like, "Wow, you look amazing. And whatever you're doing, keep doing what you're doing." And you're like, this doctor is telling my wife is like, "You are the best looking patient that I've seen in a long time." And that spoke volume to us because we did our part. We took ownership and we had that growth mindset of, okay, let's change our diet, let's bring down our stress and, really go after it. And so, yeah, I mean, discipline is, you got to start somewhere. You got to start small. I mean,
Mm.
you don't become a black belt in a day. You don't run a
No,
50K
you don't. That's right.
overnight. Rome wasn't built in a day. The world wasn't built in a day.
That's
Um,
right.
and so it's those like small little habits that build up. And I talk about in my book, it's called habit stacking. I'm going to give you like an example. Let's say your morning routine is you brew coffee every single morning, and it takes 2 minutes to brew your coffee, like old school, like with the filter, and you
Yeah,
actually
with the filter and all that. Yeah,
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 yeah, yeah, yeah. So, and it takes 2 minutes. Let's just theoretically say that. But while that 2 minutes, your coffee's brewing, instead of scrolling on your phone, and let's say your goal is, I want to lose 10 pounds by the end of the year or something like that. Well, use that 2 minutes to start knocking out some push-ups. Knock out as many as you can, even if it's just one. Just think about how many push-ups you
Oh, we're
can do
similar.
the entire year. It's 365 push-ups.
I've,
So,
I've I've got that mindset, my friend. God, I'm speaking to the converted here. Sorry to
oh
cut you
yeah,
in, but I'm just sitting there going light bulb, light bulb, light bulb. It's pretty
yeah.
much everything that we've that I preach. And sorry to cut you off there. I
No,
was a
no, no. No, it's
magnificent comment,
fine.
my friend. And I'm writing a
Yeah.
lot of so I am writing a lot of this stuff down for the previews. But I think having that mindset, and I wanted to say two things. How important is it? And this goes off to what I talk about with regards to one of the 15 lessons is about, they always say about negative people and negative environments. Now, let's switch it your way and let's look at how, if let's look at a positive environment and positive people in your life, especially someone that you're close to. I mean, how easy is it to walk up the yellow brick road hand in hand to find a goal, even though it's like it's a you've got your own journey, which is yourself, but you've got a collaborative goal at the end that you're quite happy to work with because it is part of your journey as well. It's a really good mindset to have.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, community is huge. We're not made on this earth to do things by ourselves. I mean, yeah, it's good to have goals for yourself and things like that. But I mean, if you even look at the beginning of the Bible, I mean, God created Adam, and then He's like, "I need you a suitable helper," and created Eve. And so, you know, that mindset, like for us, community was huge. Like when I
Mm.
didn't have our church community poured into us. They're like, "Oh, here's this month's rent for you guys, or here's, a gift card to go get some groceries." And I didn't ask them, but they're just like, "Hey, like we know what it's like and we want to help you guys." And so yeah, community is big. Find Facebook groups or find local groups that can help you.
It's amazing. It's amazing that. Can I ask you this one? And I think it's something that all of us could struggle with. I mean, I still do myself in some ways, coming from where I was to what I'm doing right now, which is amazing. I'm very grateful for where I am. Um, the art of, I'll say the art of perfectionism in a way, and you'll understand this when I explain it. The art of perfectionism and the art of then actually letting go and having center within your heart. I'm not sure if you're into the chakras, but I'm sure you will be, because heart chakra and moving everything into your heart chakra instead of into your mind. Your mind works with your heart, not your mind working by itself. Did you actually and how much was it, how hard was it to actually get your mind and let go and come into your heart with this situation you had? I mean, it's life threatening. You had no money, da 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 da. You've done a magnificent thing, both of you, to bring all that energy into your heart chakra, and you're talking about it today. And you attracted those people. I mean, was it hard to do, or what do you think in that way that um you did, or is there any process?
Yeah, I mean, I'm human. I mean, it's difficult. Yeah, I mean,
Mm,
at the same time, for me, I'm not afraid to fail because that's where growth happens. That's where you learn. Um, but to connect the mind and heart, I mean, yeah, it's difficult. Sometimes, like, give you an example, when I'm doing that 50K ultra Spartan race, right?
mm,
Uh, so things happen bad. Like I dropped a boulder on my toe, I had a nosebleed, I tore my hands, I lost my gloves, I dropped my tracker, I had to run an extra half mile to go pick it up. I ate way too many Cliff Bars, I had digestive issues, like all the things that went wrong. But in my mind, I was like, I'm going to finish this race. And there's other people around me that I'm passing that's doing this with me. They're saying like, "Oh, I can't do this," or "This race is too hard," or "I'm never gonna finish." And their mind has already said to their heart and their body, saying, "I'm not gonna finish this race." And guess what? They didn't finish the race. But for me, I kept telling myself, "I'm not gonna listen to them. I don't want to listen to the negative talk." And for me, I can and I will finish this race. And I did. I mean, it took me 12 and a half hours, but I still finished it in spite of all the injuries and all the things that happen. And so, what we think a lot of times, your body will go to that as well. Your heart and your body will actually
mm,
do that. And so, yeah, I mean, connecting the mind and heart and the body together, um, a lot of people don't understand that and don't really do that. But with me, I had so many years of martial arts. There's so much mind and body connection that it almost comes naturally to me because I've been training in it for so long. And I know just the general public, they're not there yet. But find someone that can help you that are one or two steps ahead of you to, hey, like pull you along and say, hey, like you got this, you can do this. Hey, here's some steps that you need to do to get to this point. And so, yeah, I mean, that's a big part, like finding a mentor or, finding that community is
mm.
huge. So
it is a big thing, my friend. And I was just going to say that had a look at your website and stuff. Now, you obviously have you thought about doing a YouTube channel yourself and doing something with regards to tips each day? Because
I don't.
I think, I'm sorry to cut you off there. I think what you've said in the last 15, 20 minutes,
Yeah.
people need to hear from different people. And I think your voice could really help others. Like you can't, you set out to help the world. I'm the same. I set out to help the world, but people will come when they need to come and hear you and on that frequency. What do you think about that?
I don't know. I'm open to wherever God leads me to. I
I'll
mean,
say
I'm
it's
just
your, I'm saying this is your first video, my friend.
no. This is like my I don't know 12th podcast or
Oh, no,
something.
no, I'm talking about your YouTube channel that you're gonna make.
Oh yeah, maybe I don't know. I mean, I thought about doing my own podcast as well.
Absolutely, mate. I think here we go. We're just doing a bit of coaching on the side here. I
Yeah.
motivate, mate. That's why I'm a motivational hype man. I'm the ideas innovator. That's what I do. I think DDK mindset could be the new podcast for you and the new YouTube channel. And this interview could be the first interview up on your YouTube channel, my friend.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I'm open to it. So, but one thing like you're saying like about mindset, like I said, faith is a big part.
Yep,
The Bible says, do not conform to the pattern of this world, but transform your mind or to the renewing of your mind.
yep.
And so, like I have to renew my mind daily, and whatever that is, because there's some things that I mean, like I said, I'm human. I make mistakes. I'm not perfect, and if I don't renew my mind, I get bombarded by social media. I get bombarded by news. I get bombarded
Yep.
by some other people's negativity, and that brings me down. And
Mm,
some talked about chakras, right? So for me, I've been a licensed massage therapist for 18 years now,
yep.
and we do talk about Eastern medicine about the chakras, and it's energy points, it's energy flow, right?
That's right.
And a lot of people don't understand that. Everybody thinks, oh, it's like Western medicine, and you
That's
know,
right. I get
you
it, mate.
know,
I studied it for 28 years, so I get what
yeah,
exactly. So you keep going.
yeah,
Talk your truth, my friend.
yeah. So I mean, when you have like chakra points that are disrupted or like stuck,
Blocked.
yeah, blocked, yeah, you can't perform well. There's mental like you don't have mental clarity because it affects your entire body. And so, it's like the nervous system. If, you block flow to your arm with blood flow, what's going to happen to your arm? It's going to turn black and blue and purple and it's going to die, right?
Yeah,
And
that's
so,
right.
yeah, so that chakra is that energy. And so what you're talking about, yeah, it's so true that everything for me, everything comes from the mind. What you think, what you believe, that's going to be your outcome. Like I said with the 50K Ultra, people already said like, "Oh, I'm not going to finish." Well, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. You think it, you believe it. Well, that's your outcome then. And so, yeah, I mean, our life is all about the energy that we have, we give and receive to people as well. And so, yeah, I mean, what you're talking about, the mindset, well, I'm talking about the mindset in my book as well. I mean, yeah, I just want to be able to help people and uh, be better for people, have their lives be better because I know what it's like to be at rock bottom and to pull myself up and to continue to pull myself up and to go through it. So, yeah.
Mate, that's a yeah. Look, your voice needs to be heard, my friend. That's all I'll say to you. I mean, you can hear that, and I think one thing we learn from each other is, as I said to you, the voice of someone. You might hear it 150 times, but I've heard that 150 times. But coming from you, because you come from the heart, you can actually feel the frequency and vibration of what you're actually saying and helping. This is where people have to understand, and I'm going to ask you this question: the disconnection from the earth of people, because you see animals that are really connected to the earth. Yeah, the wild animals. I mean, I'm a bear lover. I love bears. I love bears. I love anything. I mean, I'm in Australia. I've got kangaroos, koalas. all those things. Everyone's going, oh, kangaroos are scary. I go, mate, we go to Canada and check out those moose and bears, eh? But they're connected to the earth, and they're
Hmm.
still an entity or a spirit of the earth, if you want to put it that way. We've been disconnected because of society and whatever else is happening. And now we are really starting. There's a shift is coming. Have you felt the shift coming that we actually talk about what we're talking about? We're actually going back to that, connecting to the earth and enjoying what we have and going back within each other and not worrying about, well, there's other stuff we can talk about there, but we'll keep on the positive stuff. Getting back and actually saying, not even get back to nature, that's just airy fairy, but really going deep within ourselves. I'd like to take this time to shout out our supporters at Liberty Bullion, the best gold, silver and platinum traders in Melbourne, even Australia. If you want to give them a call, their knowledge, their customer service is second to none. Back to the show.
Yeah, I mean, so I live here in the United States, and I live
And
in
Texas
Dallas.
is a cool spot, man. I'll tell you, I love Texas.
Yeah, I'm in Dallas, Texas area. So I'm
Oh,
in
mate, love it. Go the Cowboys.
Dallas is like the fourth largest city in the United States now.
Yep.
It actually beat Houston. And so when you're in these large cities, everybody's on the go, 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 and they don't take time. And I talk about this in my book. Take time out in nature. So many of us are vitamin D deficient. Why is that? Because we're all indoors at a computer, on social media, or on Netflix or YouTube or whatever. And I'm like, just shut all that down. Go outside for a walk for like 10 minutes. Get some fresh air, be out in nature, uh, have gratitude for life, in out in nature. And there's something called grounding, where you just take off your shoes and just step into the ground. And that actually helps reduce inflammation, and it reconnects you back to life, back to the earth. And that's something we do, my wife and I. We ground, and but it really grounds us, like no pun intended, back to what is most important to us. Is that job important or spending time with my wife? Well, I don't go home to my job, so why am I spending 50, 60 hours at work and neglecting what's important to me? Like what are your values? Do you value materialistic things? Well, it's all gonna burn. You can't take it with you. We're born naked, we're gonna leave naked. So um yeah, just things like that. Like um, for me, I have to connect with nature. For me, it's very um, it's very distressing for me. Like it like brings my stress down, and so just smelling the air outside and feeling the sunlight on your skin. Like there's so many benefits to sun, and with nature. Nature is very healing. So, but for me, what I see in the city that I'm in, most people are just too busy and they don't take time to go outside and be one with nature. For me, it's pretty sad. But I'm sure in Australia, I mean, like it's always
It's
warm there,
it's
right?
warm, but yeah, we're in the same situation, mate. Everyone runs around. Look, where we get caught up with stuff, I think, yeah, we're running a crazy world at the moment. What do you think in this day and age? We know it's crazy. We're gonna. I'm not gonna lie, and there's people who are, I think a lot of more people are standing up and talking, speaking up against, we'll call it the higher power or the higher powers or whatever. But if we flip that and say they're actually and we flip that, yes, you can have that theory, which I do, but I also have the theory of you're getting in touch with yourself now and you're bringing more positivity. What do you think would wake someone? If you were going to say, if we were going to do a quote right now, and we've got DD Kang, he's gone through what he's doing. He's gone through. He's a wonderful individual, inspirational individual. What would be something that would wake? What would be your words to wake someone up to actually get into a mindset of not your mindset particularly, if you get where I'm going, where you're at the level, but actually go, wake up and go, hang on, let's smell the roses and let's make some changes. What would you be saying to them?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. There's this fine line because when someone doesn't want to change, no amount of words or anything that I say, it's just going to go one ear and out the other.
Yep.
And yeah, I mean, I could tell them the truth. I can tell them all these things, but if honestly, if they don't want to listen, if they don't want to hear it, and if they don't want to make any changes, like there's nothing I could say. But for those that do want to do something, and sometimes it takes one of those life or death situations for people to actually like wake up and change their mind, change their life around. And it's sad that it has to come to that, but for me, I'm thinking prevention. So like I said, when my wife got breast cancer and I lost my job, one chemo treatment was $80,000, right? We
Mm.
would have went over $1 million in debt if we didn't have health insurance. And I think at the same time, well, okay, reading books and nutrition, do you want to spend $10 for organic carrots to prevent cancer? Or do you want to go ahead and risk your life and get that cancer diagnosis and rack up $1 million, maybe, but that you could have just prevented it? But for so many of us, we have to hit that rock bottom, or we have to hit that life or death situation in order to change. And I mean, there's people that I've talked to saying, "Hey, like, here's things that I've learned. Here's how I can help you." And they just didn't want to listen because they're like, "Oh, that's, you dealt with cancer or whatever, and I'm not
That's their
dealing with."
mindset, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is the mindset. But for those people who didn't want to listen, I'm like, well, I'm just wasting my time and energy. I'm just going to go to someone else that will
Yeah.
listen.
I think we come to a point. Sorry to cut you off there, just because I
No.
had that my coach. We've got a couple of minutes on this part as well, my friend. My coach said the same thing, and I'm not sure if you watch Victor Otto on YouTube. He's a spiritual counselor, and he says something to the same point where we'd love to help everyone, but you've got to actually choose your pick and choose, because look, there's going to be people who are energy suckers, man.
Yeah.
Energy
Yeah.
vampires. We know this, and we don't wish anything bad. There's a lot of lessons that I've learned the last couple of weeks about expressing that about against people, not even against people, they're just being frustrated. Go, why aren't you waking up? It's not really my job to wake them up, is it? I mean, you come from a Superman complex, as I call it. The Superman complex. Oh, I love to save the world and stuff, but
But
yeah, I think yeah. Sorry, keep
but
going, mate. Yeah.
but I think at the same time is to let them know, like, hey, I love you. Yeah, you don't want to hear what I'm gonna have to say, but when you're ready, I'm still here, willing to help. But at the same time, I'm gonna go and find those people that actually want my help. But just to lay it out there, saying you know where to find me when you do want help.
That's exactly it. Yeah, it's a very very big thing.
Yeah.
So, on this note, we're going to go to part two, because we want to get to talk about your book,
Okay.
and we'll talk about where you're the future of DDK is. How's that sound?
Yeah.
And
Sure.
let's get that happening, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, I mean, it's been an inspirational journey so far, ladies and gentlemen. But we're going to find out about this book. You're going to go and buy this man's book and be inspired to become better. It's great to talk to like-minded people. You might not know them from a bar of soap. This is the Aussie slang that we use. But I'll tell you what, you can pick someone up by their energy, and if you're in that presence of them, you can actually do some good for yourself. So we're getting on to part two. Look forward to seeing you very, very soon. Go and get a water. Go and ground yourself. Get your shoes off onto the ground. Then come back and and we're going to talk to this magnificent individual, DK.